I heard this story right here, years ago, from a man sitting on that very stool. He was pale, clutching a whiskey like it was a lifeline. He had this look in his eyes, a kind of weary terror. He told me his name. I've forgotten it, of course. The years do that to you. But his story stuck with me. It begins with my many times great-grandfather, he said, a British officer. Not a gentleman, mind you, but a cruel man, the kind who enjoyed his work. And his work was the slaughter at Culloden Moor. He was striding over the fallen and helping a few on their way with his bayonet. Then he saw this pocket watch, gleaming in the gore with not a drop or smear on it. He pulled it from a dead chieftain, robbed the man while his body was still steaming in the dawn. It was a beautiful, terrible thing, that watch. Solid silver, the case etched with thistles and heather, such fine work as you've ever seen. It had an inscription on the back, in a language he called barbaric. He took it as a trophy. He'd boast about it, wind it with a loud, deliberate click, and lay it on the table as if daring God himself to object. He said it kept perfect time, but that it always felt cold. I think he was afraid of it. Then one morning, they found him. The door was bolted from the inside. The window was latched. Not a soul had been seen coming or going. But there he was, on the floor, his eyes wide with a final frozen terror. And the watch was no longer in the safe downstairs. It was rammed down his throat. Hard. That heavy chain spilled from his open mouth, coiling on his chest like a snake that had crawled up from his guts. The crime was never solved. The watch had always kept perfect time, but now it had stopped at exactly midnight. They dusted it off, wound it, and it worked. It became an heirloom, a cursed one. The watch passed down through the family sons. Every generation would make a half-hearted attempt to get rid of it. It would be lost in a move or sold off a dozen times, but it always turned up again on a hall table, in a dresser drawer. And a strange discontent would settle over the patriarch, a feeling they belonged elsewhere. They'd get notions about business opportunities in Glasgow or the clean air of the Highlands. They thought they were making choices. The watch was just coming home. Then it passed to my great-grandfather. A keen fisherman he was, sailed out from Mull on a day so calm the sea was like glass. But when they found his boat drifting, the mast was snapped and ragged as if it had been hurled through the heart of a storm. His body was tangled in his own nets, and in the pocket of his oilskin they found the watch, full of salt water, and stopped at exactly 12. Noon or midnight doesn't matter. 12 o'clock was when death came for him. His son, my grandfather, got it next. My grandpa was a foreman in a Glasgow shipyard and a practical man who laughed at ghost stories. He fell from a gantry one afternoon, a straight drop onto a steel deck. The watch was in his breast pocket. The case wasn't scratched, but the hands had stopped at the precise moment of his death, the moment the noon whistle blew. My own father called it nonsense, a string of bad luck. He kept it in his car's glove box as a joke. Last winter his car left the road near the Bridge of Orkney, no tyre marks. They pulled him from the wreck and found the watch, cold and perfect, nestled in his palm, stopped at midnight. Which brings us to me. The coroner's office released it last week. I am the last male heir. And so, It is now mine. The man reached slowly into his jacket pocket. The movement was stiff, tentative. He pulled out a small, gleaming object and laid it on the bar with a soft, definitive clink. It's heavier than you'd think. See the thistles? The workmanship. It's beautiful, isn't it? I got it yesterday afternoon. I've been carrying it all day, feeling its weight. A dead man's watch. That thing has been in the throat of my ancestor, in the dead hand of my father. He gestured to the old clock above the bar. You hear that? The clock ticking. It's nearly midnight. But this one, he doesn't touch it, only points a trembling finger. Look. Closer. The time. It's set to 11:59. It has been, ever since I took it from the box. Now. Look at the second hand. It's not broken. You can hear it if you hold it close. It hums, like a wasp in a jar. But it's cold, a lump of ice. It's just decided to stop. It's true. The slender silver hand is motionless. It is not ticking. It is not counting down the seconds to a new day. It is simply waiting. The man looks up, his eyes hollow in the firelight, a sheen of cold sweat on his brow. He finished his whiskey, stood up, and walked out into the night. An old-timer who still had the Gaelic was here later. He wouldn't touch it, but peered at the inscription and said, Ka chil mi tuliu, ak bi chim akum housed. I shall not return, but I shall have my time yet. No one knows what happened to that man. But sometimes, on a night like this, when the wind sounds just right, I think about that watch. I wonder what it was waiting for. And I wonder what time it's showing now.